So today it's the main part is actually situational writing, which we'll have a look at later. We'll be looking at informal writing mostly, and informal writing is actually the easiest kind of situational writing. So not too much to worry about that. The first few parts though are the ones that are a bit more tricky, especially visual text, right? This is a bit more tricky. And then comprehension cloze could be tricky as well. So these are two pretty tricky parts, so we will cover them as well today. So first up, visual text. Okay, so that's why I say it's a bit iffy over here. So Jairus, what I need you to do is take a picture of this right now so you can refer to it later, because later on I'll be showing you the question only. All right, you can take a screenshot using your computer or your tablet, or you can take a picture using your mom's phone or something. Okay. Let me know when you're done taking a picture of this, because you need to refer to this to look for the answer later. Jairus, are you done? Okay, good. All right, so let's have a look. Now, immediately, the first question over here, right, is a very tricky one. What is the main purpose of this poster? All right, so I need the answer from Dania again, and of course from Jairus for this one. What's the main purpose of this poster? So if we look at the poster just now, here it is advertising the National Orchid Garden, right? And in the first section here, it gives you like a bit of a history of the National Orchid Gardens, and then it tells you how it is separated into 4 different zones. And then after that, it highlights this VIP Orchid Garden, right, for you to have a look over there, where all the most famous orchid blooms are over there. Then they introduced some special orchids that you should look out for, like the Vanda Miss Joachim, the Tiger Orchid, the Golden Shower Orchid, the Bamboo Orchid, and the Vanilla Orchid. And they introduce these flowers in depth. Like they give you a bit of an introduction for each flower over here. And then ultimately, they tell you to join them on social media by liking them on Facebook, following them on Twitter, and if you want to know more, go to this website. Okay? This part over here is just the teacher writing where they got the information from. All right? So with that in mind, what is this poster trying to do over here? What's the main aim of this poster? Think about it. So Dania and Jairus, give me your answers, please. Here comes Victoria. The rest got it right, basically. Okay, Dania has answered. How about Jairus? Okay, so Jairus is actually correct. Dania, you're unfortunately incorrect. The answer is actually C. It's to promote the National Orchid Garden and the orchids found within. The National Orchid Garden is in a park, right? It's in the Singapore Botanic Gardens, and the Singapore Botanic Gardens is part of national parks. That is true. Yeah? But the poster is not to educate people about national parks, it's to promote the National Orchid Garden specifically. Okay, so answer is C. And Victoria, no, you didn't miss anything. I think the only thing you missed was that I added 10 points to you from completing your work online. That's the only thing that you missed. Apart from that, we're still at question 1 now. All right, so Dania, do take note of this, okay? Next. When was the National Orchid Garden opened? Jairus, I need your answer. Just Jairus. And to speed it up for everyone else, all right, I'm going to give each question 20 seconds only. Yes, Jairus is correct. He has found the correct answer. It was opened on 20th October 1995. The answer is A over here. Where can we find this? We can find it over here. 20th October 1995. It was opened by our dearly departed Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew on that particular date. Okay. Next, number 3. All right, gyrus only. Who opened the National Orchid Garden? I think this is a very obvious answer. It's in the exact same sentence. That's right, it's Lee Kuan Yew. All right, so the answer is A. Because it says in the exact sentence that Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, right, at that time he was the Prime Minister, he opened the National Orchid Garden in 1995. All right. And then question 4. Now these are the ones, this type of questions, right, are the ones that are tricky because you have to find out for A, B, C, and D, all of them, which one is true, which one is false. Then you finally settle on one answer for this one. Okay, so be very careful. I need the answers again from Brian, Dania, Yutaka, and Jairus. No worries, Josiah. Just be a bit more careful the next time, yeah? Josiah joined the wrong Zoom room. Okay, Brian has replied and he has corrected himself. Fantastic. Compare all 4. All right, Yutaka has replied. He has corrected himself. That's good. Waiting for Dania. Dania, unfortunately, that's incorrect. And Jairus, that is correct. Okay, so the answer here is actually C. All right, C. Because we are looking for the one that is false. False means not true. The vanilla orchid cannot be found within the garden. Cannot be found. Huh? This is false. How do we know? Because over here, it says what? The vanilla orchid, right? So, over here it says what? Some of the more interesting orchids to spot in NOGA. What does NOG stand for? NOG stands for National Orchid Garden, doesn't it? So the fact that you can spot these interesting orchids in National Orchid Garden tells you that they are in the garden. They are in National Orchid Garden. So how can we say that the vanilla orchid cannot be found within the garden when the poster itself says you can spot them in the garden itself? So C must be false. Now let's have a look at D. All right, quite a lot of you picked D for false just now for the wrong answer. Why? Let's have a look, okay? The garden is divided into 4 zones. This is actually true, but you have to do a little bit of a deeper reading because here it says what? Okay, here it says National Orchid Garden is divided into zones using 4 distinct sets of colors, blah, 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 blah. Okay, look at that part. So is it divided into zones? All right, yes, it's divided into zones. How many zones? 4 zones, because there are 4 colors, 1 color for each zone, right? It says using 4 distinct sets of colors. So therefore, we know that there are 4 zones because of the 4 colors that they talk about over here. So this is actually true, right? Although you do need to go a bit deeper and think a little bit further to find out that this is true. How about B? Some of you gave me B as well. Why is B true? The garden is located within Singapore Botanic Gardens. How do we know that that is true? National Orchid Garden is within Singapore Botanic Gardens. So it's over here, right? It says I'm going to use a different color so that it doesn't clash with the rest. I'm going to use purple, okay, purple. So here, what does it say? It says the National Orchid Garden has over 60,000 dazzling orchid plants and is the crown jewel of the Singapore Botanic Gardens. Crown jewel means what? Crown jewel means it is the proudest. It is the most interesting, it's the most magnificent part of Singapore Botanic Gardens. But this actually tells us that it is part of the Singapore Botanic Gardens, and therefore B is actually true as well. Okay, how about A? The garden has over 60,000 orchid plants. I'm going to use green for this. over 60,000 orchids? This is actually true. How do we know? Because over here, it does say over 60,000 dazzling orchid plants, right? So it has over 60,000 orchid plants. It says so over there, right? So therefore, the only answer must be C. Okay, so the answer here is C. All right. That's why I say you have to compare all four very carefully and think very carefully before you determine what the correct answer is for questions like these. They are very tricky. So the moment they ask you about true and false, that should set off the alarm bells inside your brain. And you should say, oh, this kind is very difficult. I need to compare all four properly. Then I will know what the correct answer is. Okay. Next. Number 5, okay, based on the poster, which of the following orchids cannot be found in the National Orchid Garden? All right, so this is just assuming from the information on the poster. So I need Dania's answer, I need Rina's answer, and Jairus's answer. So Jairus has gotten it correct already. That's very fast. Thank you, Jairus. Now I just need Rina and Dania. Rina got it correct. Rina corrected herself. Fantastic. How about Dania? Dania is correct as well. Fantastic. She corrected herself. The answer is the ghost orchid, right? Over here, there's no such thing, or rather, they didn't. There is a ghost orchid, but they did not mention it over here, right? On the interesting orchids that they had. They talk about the Vanda Miss Joachim, all right, which is Singapore's national flower. They talk about the tiger orchid, the dancing lady orchid, right, which is also known as the golden shower orchid, and the bamboo orchid and the vanilla orchid. But they did not talk about the ghost orchid. So it wasn't found in the poster at all. All right. But just curious, I wonder if the ghost orchid really exists. I kind of remember that it does because of its very delicate appearance. Let's check if the ghost orchid actually exists and what it looks like. I'm just curious. Oh, it does exist. Oh my goodness, it's called the Dendrophylex lindeni. That's the scientific name. But its nickname is called the ghost orchid. It's called the corkscrew swarm ghost orchid. The world famous ghost orchid is blooming at Audubon, Florida's corkscrew camp. It is a very rare orchid and native to Florida, the Bahamas, and Cuba. Interesting. All right, now you've seen the ghost orchid. And I can tell why it's called a ghost orchid, because if you are not careful and you look at it like that, it looks like a human face that's floating in the air. Or something like that, right? That would be pretty freaky, don't you think? Okay, let's continue. Question 6. Everyone got it correct. So I just need Jairus's answer. According to the poster, Jairus, the vendor Miss Joachim, what? Yes, Jairus is correct. Excellent. Okay, next. Also for Jairus only, how did the dancing lady orchid get its name? Oh, by the way, the previous answer is B, right? Miss Vanda Joachim was designated as Singapore's national flower in 1981. Okay? How did the dancing lady orchid get its name? Jairus. $20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 8. Wait, where did Jairus go? He's not in the. Oh, Jairus is still there. Yes, yes, sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Jairus got it correct. Good job, Jairus. The answer is because the shape of its flowers resemble dancing ladies. Where can you see that? You can see it here under dancing lady orchid. All right. It's also called the dancing lady orchid because the shape of its flowers resembles dancing ladies. Okay, so therefore over here, the shape of its flowers resembles dancing ladies. Answer is B. Okay, next. Number 8. I need Jairus's answer only as well over here. Jairus, Based on the poster, what